This is a little bit of an update on how our front end is going on this rat rod. So we have finally made a rough idea of our upper control arm for this cantilever suspension. As you can see, it's not boxed in yet. We're gonna fully box it so it's all nice and stiff. And this is also going to have a mount on the front like that. And the lower control arms, they are going to be triangulated from the center of the axle right here, and they're going to go back triangulated to the frame rails. And the reason that we're going to do that is because it's going to make room for these knee shocks. So since this lower control arm is going to go over here, that's going to leave room for this knee shock to go right about here, like so. As you can imagine, that this is our shock, so you can figure out the rest. But so there's where our shock is going to go, and so that means that this front end is going to be really close. It's going to allow our front end to have a lot of different things like shoved together in a compact way. It's going to be really busy. We're going to have the upper link here, knee shock, lower link there. It's just going to be really, you know, compact and buff, really. I mean, this is some thick metal. So that's how the front end's going right now. It's a kind of basic idea on how that's going to go. And then also what we're doing is, once we finish this, we're going to be chopping the top of this cab. We're thinking of chopping it about 4 inches, so probably 4 inches right here. So right now I am currently taking out all of these screws using a welder and some pliers. As you can see, I've already kind of filed that one down to get to the metal. The reason that we're here, there's the one I took off already. The reason that I have to take these off is because obviously if we're chopping the top, like, there's just less stuff to cut. It's easier to get to what we actually have to cut, and you know, stuff like that. The reason we're welding to it is because I cannot tell you, I think we've gone through probably 3 or 4 clutch head screws, the clutch head bits, because they just don't work. Like, they just strip out immediately. So there's probably like 5 bolts on this entire truck that actually came out with the clutch head bits before they just stripped. Either the bits would strip or the bolts would strip. So honestly, this is just a lot faster just to weld a little bit of a nipple on here and then just crank it off. The heat breaks it loose, and then you just, I've had one that was a little tough to get off, but other than that, it's just way easier to get off. I've already got all these interior panels out. I got the rear panel here, and that quarter panel and this quarter panel. And so, and then we got the headliner off too. So it's going pretty well. We also got these dents out. So this used to be a nice big meteor crater in here, and now it's nice and smooth. So yeah, so this is after, we're gonna chop that after we get the front suspension done, because once we get that done, this thing's going to be a rolling chassis. And that's gonna be nice, because then we can roll it in and out of here. And so yeah, that's how this is going right now. So this is, I just welded another nubbin. As you can see, there's the screw, and then there's a little nubbin I welded, and then you just put a pair of vice grips on it, and look at that, comes right out. So you don't have to mess with any of the stinking clutch head screws. It's relatively quick if you just are good at making those little things, and yeah, you just take it out and move on to the next one. We got this door panel off and found the mother nest of stinking mouse nests. The literal entire bottom section is just one big mouse nest. And we also figured out that this track for this window is in like great condition. Oh, let me sit down here. Look at that. Just a little bit of PB Blaster and it rolls right up. Of course it's a little messed up because the track on the outside's messed up, but the regulator itself just popped it back in and works great. So that's actually really good news that it works so good. And then of course the door latch, the interior door latch, it was just the little door bar fell off right there on the ground. So that's super easy to fix. It's just some linear little latch, so that's easy enough. So yeah, that's good. We also got a rebuild kit for those windows, so it's pretty easy, and some new door handles and stuff. And then over yonder, my dad was working on this. This is his work on the upper link mounts, upper suspension arms, and it looks pretty good. You can see the back mount here. There's the back mount with the 2 bolts and that's the air vent right there. And you can just see how thick this thing is, like holy Jesus. So that's what he was working on while I was welding on door frame, door nuts and stuff. And yeah, so it's our little update on the progress and how it's been going. This is how far we got tonight on the suspension arms, the upper ones. You can see our back mounts are now connected, and also this is the piece that we're going to bend tomorrow. It's going to square that up, whatever it's called. Box that in, that's what it's called. That's going to box that in, make it a lot tougher. As well as on the bottom side of these back mounts, there's going to be a flange that goes around the edge of it, and will go to the frame for structural integrity. And we also cleaned out that whole mouse nest, so that's nice and clean now. And working on getting that door panel off. But that's all for today. So probably tomorrow or whenever I post the next video, you will see those suspension arms boxed in and ready to go. And also the mounts on the frame and on the axle maybe. But yeah, looks pretty good, beefy.